So I'm just gonna preface this video by saying the Galaxy S20 Ultra is an amazing smartphone. Like, there's not one thing I truly have to complain about. My time with it so far has been amazing. Everything from the battery life, to the camera, to the display, to the performance. The only area, and this is a small one, that I still think needs improvement is the ultrasonic fingerprint scanner. It's a bit quicker this year, but I still find it to be extremely inconsistent compared to the optical scanner or even Face ID on an iPhone. Now, with that being said, if you have all the money in the world, you want the best smartphone right now, you don't care about how big your phone is, then the Ultra is probably the phone you're gonna wanna get. However, if you're more price conscious or you want like the best bang for your buck, I honestly don't think you should buy the Ultra. I feel like the S20, the S20 Plus offers you 98% of the value for a lower price point. And if you're frugal or you're really on a budget and you still want a flagship device, I truly feel the Galaxy Note 10 and the Galaxy S10 Plus offer you the best bang for your buck, at least in terms of if you're looking for a Galaxy smartphone. Now, I don't recommend the Note 10 Plus right now, not because it's a bad phone, it's an amazing smartphone, only because of its price point. It's $1,100, and if you don't need the S Pen, you're better off going with the S20 Plus or the regular Galaxy S20. You'll save $100 or pay $100 more and get all the brand new features of 2020. The displays are kind of interesting because even last year's AMOLED panels look just as good as the S20 Ultra. Like, I can't tell the difference between color reproduction, accuracy, and gamut between all of these devices. Like, last year's panels are just as good, at least to the naked eye. The only area that the S20 Ultra excels is the high refresh rate. Like, if you're an enthusiast, you love having a faster refresh rate, you'll notice it, you're gonna love it, it's gonna make the phone feel snappier. If you're a regular consumer, you might have to have someone point it out to you, but once you see it, you can't unsee it. Now, the downfall to the high refresh rate is that it's only usable at 1080p, and you can actually see the fuzziness around the text if you have very sharp eyes. Is it a big deal? Absolutely not, but I personally prefer leaving it on QHD for a sharper image. Now, the upside to this is that Samsung is going to be releasing a firmware that allows you to use the high refresh rate at QHD. Now, battery life is very interesting. This is the one area that the S20 lineup completely improves. I'm talking about ending the day with like 45 to 40% battery life, getting screen on time of 8, sometimes 9 hours before needing to charge. Like, don't get me wrong, the Note 10 and the S10 Plus also have great battery life, but nothing compared to the new S20. Now, the camera is probably the biggest update. Like, every device from the S8 to the S10 have been small incremental updates, some new features, but nothing really to write home about. This year, Samsung came out swinging. Like, this camera has taken some of the best pictures and video that I've seen on a smartphone. This 108 megapixel sensor is doing some crazy things. Now, it's still gonna look like a Samsung photo, which means it's gonna be a bit saturated, it's gonna look really sharp, and if you like that type of look, which I feel most people do, then you're gonna love the way this camera works. The only thing I don't like is the 100 times zoom. It's a pure gimmick. Like, it works, you can read things, you can make it out, but it's not clean, it's not clear, and you need a lot of stabilization. I feel like 30 times zoom for digital is where you wanna be. Like, it's still legible, and it still works fairly well even when you're hand holding the device. I find that the 10 times hybrid optical zoom on this is much more important than the 100 times digital zoom. Performance was one of the areas I did not see a difference between all 4 devices. Like, an everyday use for productivity, playing simple games like Candy Crush, you're not gonna see a speed difference compared to the Note 10 Plus, S10 Plus, to even the S20 Ultra. They all feel just as fluid. The hardware inside of these phones are ahead of its time, and most of the software that we use are just not pushing it. Yes, there are some games that will take advantage of the new hardware, but for most of the games that most people play, all of these phones will feel just as fast. Now, here's the bottom line. Like, the S20 Ultra is probably one of the best phones you can buy. If you're a tech enthusiast, you have a lot of money, you're gonna absolutely love this device. However, if you want a flagship smartphone and you still want an S20, I personally feel the S20 offers 98% of the features for the lower price point. It's the one I'd personally go for, even if I had $1 billion in the bank account. Now, for 90% of consumers out there, the ones who want a great experience or looking at the Galaxy S lineup, I still feel the Galaxy Note 10 and Galaxy S10 Plus offer you the best value. You still have 2 years of updates. It feels just as fluid as the other two devices, and most of the features that the more expensive ones have are still here in last year's smartphones. I hope that helps clear some things up for you guys. I have a couple of more Galaxy videos coming out in the near future. If you want to see a review on the Galaxy S20 regular, let me know in the comments below. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next video.